All right, let's dive into the absolute heart of an electric guitar's sound, the pickups. I mean, they're the whole reason your guitar sings the way it does. But how much do you really know about what makes them tick? Well, we're about to find out. You've heard it a million times, right? It's that classic guitarist question. You've got the bright, snappy, almost biting sound of a Telecaster, and then you've got the thick, warm, powerful roar of a Les Paul. I mean, they sound like they're from different planets. And a huge piece of that sonic puzzle comes down to one thing: the pickups. So, before we get into all the different flavors and styles, let's just back up for a second. Let's start with the most fundamental question of all. How does an electric guitar even make an electric sound in the first place? Well, the magic all happens inside one brilliant little device. So what is a pickup, really? The easiest way to think about it, and it's a great analogy, is that it's basically a microphone for your guitar strings. It's not creating sound on its own. It's just capturing the vibration of the metal strings moving through its magnetic field. And then it turns that physical movement into a tiny electrical signal that your amplifier can actually understand and, well, amplify. Okay, now we're getting to the main event. In the universe of guitar pickups, pretty much everything comes back to two foundational designs. If you can get your head around the difference between these two, you're well on your way to understanding, well, pretty much all of guitar tone. So here's the deal. A single coil pickup, just like the name says, uses one coil of wire wrapped around magnets. This is what gives it that beautiful, clear, and snappy sound we all know and love. But there's a catch. It's also prone to picking up electrical interference, which creates that famous 60-cycle hum. Now, the humbucker, it was invented to solve that exact problem. It uses two coils wired in a special way to, literally, buck the hum. This cancels out the noise, and as a bonus, gives you a much thicker, louder, and smoother tone. And you can totally hear how this plays out in the music we listen to every day. Think of those glassy, twangy single coils in a Stratocaster, perfect for blues, for funk, for country. And then you have the powerful, beefy humbuckers in a Les Paul, just driving everything from classic rock to the heaviest metal. It's all about matching the tool to the job. But of course, it's not just a simple choice between two options. Oh no, those two main designs have basically spawned an entire family tree of unique and amazing pickup flavors. So let's check out a few of the other key players. First up, the legendary P90. Man, this thing is a special kind of beast. Technically, it is a single coil, but it's built bigger and wound hotter, and that gives it this fantastic, gritty, raw character. It's way fatter than a Strat pickup, but it still has more bite and edge than a humbucker. If you're into that raw energy of punk or old-school blues, the P90 is definitely your friend. Next, let's talk about the Filtertron. Now, this is a humbucker, but it doesn't sound at all like the kind of beefy humbucker you'd find in a Les Paul. It was specifically designed to cancel the hum, but still keep a lot of that single-coil brightness and twang. It's the absolute signature sound of Gretsch guitars, and it's the heart and soul of rockabilly. And you just gotta love this one, the Lipstick pickup. It was first seen on old Danelectro guitars, and it's pretty much what it sounds like. A pickup housed in a metal tube that looks just like a lipstick case. That metal casing gives it this really unique, jangly, almost hollow sound that became vid-defining tone for an entire genre, surf rock. So it's not just about how many coils a pickup has. There's another huge factor that completely changes the game, and that's whether the pickup is active or passive. Okay, so the vast majority of pickups out there are passive. They generate their own tiny electrical current all by themselves, no external power needed. This gives them a really organic, dynamic feel that responds to how hard or soft you play. Active pickups, on the other hand, are different. They use a battery, usually a little 9-volt, to power a tiny preamp that's built right into the pickup or the guitar. This supercharges the signal, giving you a really powerful, clear, and super low noise tone. It's a favorite for high-gain metal and crystal clear, clean sounds. So here's a quick look at how that active system actually works. The pickup coil itself is often wound to be a bit weaker. It captures the string's vibration, but then that little battery-powered preamp inside the guitar boosts the signal like crazy before it even leaves the guitar. The result? A super strong, consistent, high-output tone, even if you're using a really long cable. All right, let's go one level deeper. If the coil design is the main recipe, then the magnet is the secret ingredient, the spice. The type of magnet used inside a pickup has a massive influence on its final sound. And you can really hear the difference here. You've got Alnico 2 magnets, which give you that sweet, warm, almost soft tone of a vintage humbucker. Then there's Alnico V, which is much hotter and more aggressive, with a real punch in the mid-range. And then you have ceramic magnets. These are powerful, tight, and very modern sounding, perfect for cutting through a really dense mix. Choosing the magnet is really like choosing the core personality of your pickup.
So we've got the coils, we've got the power source, and we've got the magnets. Now let's put all these pieces together and see how these ingredients combine to help you find the perfect tone for your style of music.
Think of this as your quick start guide. Now, of course, there are no hard and fast rules in music, but these are the classic pairings for a reason. If you're chasing that classic country twang, you probably want to start with single coils. If you're playing heavy metal, a high-output humbucker is your weapon of choice. Want that raw, in-your-face blues or punk sound? A P90 will get you right there. It's all about knowing the right starting point for the sound you're hearing in your head.
And that really brings it all back to the ultimate question, doesn't it? What is your perfect tone? Now that you know the building blocks, the coils, the magnets, the power source, you can really start to think about what combination is going to create the voice that you want your guitar to have. Are you chasing something vintage and warm, or something modern and aggressive?
Let's end on this thought, because it's so important. Your pickups are the very beginning of your entire sound. They're the source of your guitar's voice. So hopefully, now you've got the knowledge you need to go out there and find that perfect set that's going to make your guitar truly sing for you.